Yes, yes, yes. It's Raphael Dawkins, the Combat Radio. And if you enjoy the content but have not yet subscribed, then please kindly do so. Okay, so today we're looking at the words of Bob Arum. And very interesting words they are. Bob Arum said Andy Ruiz Jr. looked like a fat pig for the Anthony Joshua rematch. So let's get into it. Top Rank boss Bob Arum said his former fighter Andy Ruiz Jr. looked like a fat pig in losing his IBF, WBA, WBO heavyweight titles to Anthony Joshua. Okay, so as we all know by now, Andy Ruiz Jr. lost in his rematch to Anthony Joshua in Saudi Arabia. Ruiz had the responsibility to himself and to the boxing public to come into the Joshua fight in fighting shape. But instead he failed to train sufficiently hard and came into the fight looking more flabby than usual. His weight was 15 pounds, 16 pounds more than what he'd weighed for the first fight in June. Ruiz later said that he thought he could still beat Joshua, even with his weight being heavier than the first match, the first time around. Arum says he can't give Joshua any special recognition for beating Ruiz by a 12-round decision because other fighters would have taken advantage of his poor physical shape and knocked him out. I'm going to have to comment on that at that stage before I carry on any further with the article. Okay, well, Bob Arum says any other fighters would have knocked out Ruiz, but who's knocked out Ruiz? Nobody's knocked out Ruiz. You know, let's be real here. Yeah, Ruiz came in poorer shape than expected, but it's certainly not his worst shape. And when has he been knocked out? Nobody's knocked him out. So I don't know about that. I don't know if I agree with Bob Arum on that. But let us continue as we move on. Okay. Arum says Joshua didn't even try to knock him out. And that's the tragedy of it all. The British heavyweight fought like he was afraid of the 283 pounds Ruiz, and he stayed on the run for the full 12 rounds. Well, was Joshua afraid of Ruiz? I think he was wise to be fearful of any type of repeat of the last time. Didn't want it to be like the last time. Was he afraid that it might be like the last time? I think he was afraid that if he didn't perform as he should perform, then of course there could easily have been a repeat. If he'd have just stayed in the pocket and let Ruiz unload on him and just put his hands up trying to block the shots. No, that wouldn't have worked because you know Ruiz, he likes to go behind the head. Yeah, goes around the glove and lands behind the head, back of the head, illegal blows. So yeah, anybody would be concerned, fearful, mindful not to leave themselves open to shots, whipping around the gloves and landing on the back of the head or behind the ear. Yeah. So yeah, my response to that is, of course he would have been fearful of a repeat of the first fight, and so had to fight in a manner which would limit the possibility of the previous mishap happening again. It's very sensible Very, very sensible. So, Bob Arum had more to say. He says fighters have responsibilities, not only to themselves, but to the public. And Ruiz abdicated those responsibilities by coming in looking like a fat pig and expecting that he'd still be able to defend his titles. That wasn't a fight. Any decent heavyweight would have beaten Andy Ruiz that night. You know it. I know it. So Joshua did what he had to do, but no accolades to him. A lot of heavyweights, seeing the shape Ruiz was in, would have gone for the knockout and knocked him out, said Arum. Once again, I say, who has knocked out Andy Ruiz? The answer to that is nobody. Nobody. Okay, the writer says Arum isn't exaggerating by saying Ruiz would have lost to any decent heavyweight in the sport. That's foolish talk. Foolish talk by the writer, because let's not get it twisted. Andy Ruiz is still no joke. And I anticipate going forward many a heavyweight will still not want to fight him. Still won't want to get in there with him. So Arum and this writer is making light of the situation. Almost trying to rub out the achievement of Anthony Joshua in not just the physical achievement, but the mental achievement of going in there with someone who had stopped you previously and erasing what had happened before and coming in with a new mindset, a new game plan, or rather implementing the old game plan. But I don't know. I think this game plan was better than the old one could ever have been. Because Joshua didn't seem mindful of that middle, the dangers of that mid-range. Didn't seem aware of the dangers, but we know there were extenuating circumstances, which I think I covered in a previous video, or was it the live show? Where did I cover? Yeah, I think it was in I think it's in both. I covered that in my previous video to this and in the live show. I think that was Boxing Talk with Rafi 75. So if you haven't checked that, go ahead and check that. So, Bob Arum, whilst he's accurate in his description of Andy Ruiz's condition, I think he fails to give Anthony Joshua his due. Fails to give Anthony Joshua his due credit, because many a heavyweight are yapping right now, but they would still rather not face the Ponce. Andreas the Ponce Ruiz has covered himself in a cloak of dishonor, but don't get it twisted. Many a heavyweight will still try to avoid him. They don't want none of the Ponce. Certainly not in that mid-range. So, in conclusion, Anthony Joshua did a remarkable job in erasing the ghosts of the past. Living in the now. What did Lennox Lewis have to say? Lennox Lewis says, "My thoughts are, you could tell who was serious and who wasn't. One man came in lighter and the other came in heavier than their first fight. At this level, there must be discipline and focus." And Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio replied, focus and discipline are a must. Yes, 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 and on that note, we shall leave it. Focus and discipline are a must. But Andy Ruiz ain't done. Andy Ruiz ain't done. What did George Foreman have to say? What does George Foreman have to say? Here he goes. If Ruiz showed a bit more respect for the game, looking like it, then yes. What? Then yes, but if not, Jeez Louise, this is very poorly written, George. Please get someone to write these for you. No disrespect. If Ruiz showed a bit more respect for the game, then yes, what? But if not, he should reach out to Wilder. Someone stand, fight. Is this real? What the hell did I just read? What the hell did I just read? That's a very poorly constructed statement, and I don't know what the hell it means. You're right about Joshua versus Ruiz too. What did you think about the fight? And the trilogy fight in the future? Also, that's the question that he's responding to. If Ruiz showed a bit more respect for the game, then yes. Oh, okay, if Ruiz showed a bit more respect for the game, then yes to a trilogy. But if not, he should reach out to Wilder. Okay, so we decoded it. Yeah, George is saying, yeah, trilogy, fine, if Ruiz is prepared to show more respect for the game. And if he's not prepared to show more respect for the game, then he should fight Wilder. What does that mean? What does that mean? We finish off with the conundrum. George Foreman confusing me. Okay, but that's the story. Going back to Bob Arum. What did he say? What did Bob Arum say? What was the headline? Andy Ruiz Jr. looked like a fat pig. Okay, whilst one can agree with that, I can't agree with everything that Bob Arum said in the article. He said any heavyweight, any other top heavyweight would have knocked Ruiz out, when nobody's knocked Ruiz out. So let's not get too crazy now. Bob. I know you're promoting Fury. I know Fury's under your promotional banner, but let's not get too crazy now, Bob. Let's not get too crazy. Let's not talk crazy. You know what I mean? Who was the last person Tyson Fury knocked out, Bob? Tom Schwartz. Damn. Even Ruiz hasn't fought such low caliber for a while. Maybe that's a stretch. But there you have it. Have your say. Ruiz looks like a fat pig. It's Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. It's the like. It's the subscribe. It's the comments. It's the shares. And it is the hitting that bell icon to stay updated with news and notifications. Have your say. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter. It's the Raphael Dawkins, the Combat Radio. And I am out.